show. Today we continue our series of panel interviews with our fifth episode showcasing entrepreneurs, business owners, artists, and how they navigate their brands through ever-changing industries. This episode is the influencer panel, and the topic is, how can you find your passion? So I have here my beautiful Gabriela Gonzalez. Hello, my dear.
Hello, my dear Simonetta. How are you?
You very well, thank you. So she's a Mexican designer and fashion icon. She's been on the cover of international magazines and has been featured twice in Vogue magazine. Her love for animals led her to be an equestrian champion. Gabriela made a fabulous debut alongside British designer Julian McDonald, who worked for famed houses of Givenchy and Chanel, under the wing of legend Karl Lagerfeld. Their brand, Julian Times Gabriela, has taken over the most important runways around the world, having top celebrities like Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Camila Cabello, amongst others. Gabby is the first Latin American designer to close a runway during London Fashion Week. Welcome, my girl. Welcome, Gabriela.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Absolutely. You look beautiful. Thank you for being here. Next, William Goodall. Hello, William. Hello.
Hello.
He's a young entrepreneur with a passion for natural medicine and technology. He went to school for biomedical engineering at Arizona State University only for 1 year before dropping out to pursue his online businesses. From there, he bounced around from one idea to the next, trying to sell various products online before landing where he is now, as a director of Bay Smokes, a line of smokable hemp products. William has unique marketing techniques which have brought him much success very early in his career. At this time, he has already scaled the company to a multi-million-dollar brand, and Bay Smokes is on track to take over a large share of emerging cannabis market in the United States. Welcome, William. Thank you so much for being here, my dear.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yay, yay. And now, Tatiana K. Hello, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
So along with William, we welcome Tatiana K. Tatiana is a rising model who gained popularity from her content on social media, where she has gained an avid following across the board, from YouTube to TikTok. Tatiana is passionate about helping others and pursuing the growth of her e-commerce businesses, Bay Smokes, a brand that looks to bring plants and love to everyone, which she works on with William. She's most recognized for her bubbly personality in her video content and is very active across all her platforms. Tatiana's goals is to heal, inspire, and promote positive change. Thank you so much for this. She always hopes to promote self-love and body positivity. Welcome, Tatiana. Welcome, girl.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And next, we welcome Oksana Grigorieva. Hello, beautiful.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here. Yes.
Yes, so Oksana is a renowned singer, songwriter, and pianist, best known for her outstanding repertoire of musical compositions that have been acclaimed by fans and the industry at large. Oksana was discovered by Grammy Award-winning music icon David Foster, and has collaborated with top musical personnel, including drummer Matt Chamberlain and guitarist Paul Bushnell. Most recently, in 2020, Oksana released another EP called Reach for Heaven, and is anticipating to release of her newest tracks, Lemonade and Thunder, with a music video coming this year. As well, Oksana is working on a dream project, Never Be Basic, an inspirational campaign and brand which involves her collections inspired by the chakras and spirituality, a portion of which the proceeds of will be donating to charity. Welcome, Oksana. Beautiful project. So excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
And now we welcome Susanna Damuni. Hello, my girl. Hello,
Hi.
Beautiful. Susanna is a fashion and beauty lifestyle influencer, as well as a brand ambassador with a larger growing social media platform and fan base. Today, Susanna is a prominent advocate for FDA laws and restrictions for safe surgical procedures, especially those of breast augmentations, having survived her own instance of doctors withholding information from her after surgery, ultimately causing her to endure severe illness for years. Susanna later began to research for herself the truth behind the neurotoxins in many silicone implants and the dangers they impose on us. While she always advocates for people to do what they want with their bodies, she cares the most about health, safety, and full disclosure for patients. Very, very important. Thank you, Susanna. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And next, we welcome Devorah Niger. Yes? Did I say it correctly?
You did.
Yes! Devorah runs Perfectionist Mummy, an Instagram account and blog that shares a wide range of parenting advice. When she first became pregnant, Devorah was overwhelmed by the number of parenting books and contradicting parenting advice available. She decided to make it her job to read and summarize advice from all of the information without the endless hours of reading. Devorah is also passionate about helping those less fortunate, especially children and those suffering from addiction. She's a co-founder of Rides to the Recovery, a pilot program that provides transportation to recovering individuals recently released from prison so they can tend to their recovery in families. Welcome, Devorah. So inspiring what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And then last but not least, we welcome Victor Garibay. Hello, Victor. Thank you for being here. Yes, he's a well-known entrepreneur. He started his career in real estate and then ventured out as an entrepreneur, investing in startups, participating in social media, leading him to the world of entertainment and production. Garibay has collaborated on numerous comedy skits, music videos for influencers, and music videos for artists. Victor then decided to take one step ahead in the field, start his very own news website named Goalscope Feed. Victor's mission behind Goalscope Feed is simple. He wants to educate more and more people and always promote positivity. Welcome, Victor. Thank you so much. So now I'll start with some questions for you guys. So first we have Gabriela. So Gabriela, my dear, you mentioned that you have a love for animals and you, of course, have pursued a lifelong career in fashion. How have you mixed your values for the planet with the growing needs for sustainability in the apparel industry?
Well, Simonetta, my love for animals began since I was a little girl.
Yes.
It was the special bond with horses that got me started in show jumping, which is a sport that I practiced for many years.
We have this in common. Me too.
Yeah. Well, and I have many concerns about the planet besides just fur and leather, like the massive waste and the way that factories that provide for fashion industries are contaminating.
Sure.
What I like about technology and about fashion changing all the time is that now we can find different materials that are very much like the real thing. Speaking specifically about our collection, we have never used animals. What I love about creating couture and unique pieces is that this is not disposable fashion. Our pieces are timeless and elegant, and that will never go out of style. For me, the big difference is made through using materials which are ethically obtained and also by creating pieces that will not end up in a landfill or in the trash like mediocre pieces nowadays do.
Very, very important. Very important. And by the way, I just want to say that you are in Mexico right now, so we are international. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah,
so proud.
Very proud of being Mexican.
Yes. So next for William. As we know, you spent years as an entrepreneur before becoming the director of Base Spokes. You also mentioned the success you've seen is credited to your unique marketing techniques. How has your past career or education helped to shape a strategy you've applied to your current business today?
So I wouldn't attribute any of my education really to the success I'm having now, but really more so the experience in marketing, mainly through Instagram in general, with my previous business marketing different influencers as my experience and knowledge in this field, just understanding how the video content of the new generation is consuming and what really grabs attention. Just understanding that from the perspective of actually being on the content creation side, I feel like has given me an edge in what I'm doing, and understanding how with the shortening attention span comes a need to grab attention and direct that attention very quickly in what you're doing with advertisement.
Absolutely. Very, very important. Thank you. So now for Katiana, you've begun your career as a model. However, you are working to expand your current brand, Bay Smokes, as a young entrepreneur. What was the inspiration behind this project, and what made you realize this opportunity to turn your personal brand into its own business?
I feel like I've always been really passionate about plants, and it was always part of the plan for me to build my own personal, so I can promote all the businesses, all the endeavors that I got involved in. So, yeah.
So just basically your passion towards, healing naturally.
Plants.
Where it was something that you always had as a child, where your parents brought that to you?
I've always had this like connection towards plants, and it's always like helped me. Like growing up, I got in a car accident, and I remember they were giving me all these like medications and stuff, and they were just really heavy. And like what helped me like heal and get through it was plants. So that's so beautiful. I feel really passionate about it. So I just want to spread it.
Absolutely. My father is a medical doctor, and he started to study in the 70s, the natural remedies, homeopathy. So I also was raised like this. So I'm very happy that you're bringing this, experience of yours. Thank you so much for sharing this. So coming to Oksana, my love Oksana, you've had a very successful music career and continue to release new music and projects, even through a pandemic. What has been your biggest source of inspiration and motivation to keep creating and exploring your art?
Simonetta, the biggest source of inspiration and motivation is always, for me, always have been my children.
Yes.
And I've just finished shooting a video yesterday. It's called Lemonade.
Okay.
And it's actually when the life is challenging and life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and my daughter is the lemonade. So it's just beautiful sort of light project for devotion to my daughter. I also, another inspiration, motivation has been just reaching out to people and trying to help them. That's why I'm studying a Master's of Spiritual Psychology, and I love it, by the way. It just gives you so many tools to deal with certain things that I wouldn't have even dreamed of dealing with like 10 years ago. I wish I had those tools then. But I'm also working on this project called Never Be Basic campaign. It's an inspirational campaign, and my branding name, and it's basically 2 different clothing lines inspired by science of chakra and spiritual colors, and also there's 2 different lines. There's t-shirts and there's dresses and bikinis.
Oh, nice.
So
I want to try them.
I'd love to give
thank you.
back. The gentle way to give back, because part of proceeds will go to charities.
Beautiful. You know that I have a non-for-profit, so thank you so much for what you do. Thank you. It means a lot.
Thank you for having me here.
So next for Susanna, my Susanna. So you clearly became passionate about advocating for same surgical procedures from your own journey. At what point did you decide you wanted to speak out about your experience, as so many people hesitate to even acknowledge their own procedures or surgeries?
Well, after years of feeling depressed and bedridden, I had so many unanswered questions about my health from doctors and countless trips to the emergency rooms, and it was very depressing. After researching on social media, I saw a lot of information, and I immediately booked explant surgery. I had no doubt in my mind my implants were poisoning me. I felt it was my responsibility to share the information I had at hand and spreading awareness. I was told from numerous doctors it was just anxiety and it was all in my head. And I will say I have explanted in December and I'm feeling better. Yay! So it cannot be bad.
Yes, girl.
And in fact, I had breast implant illness for a long time, and there's so many other women like me. As of September 29th, 2020, the FDA mandates breast implants to come with a black box warning of all the side effects and symptoms you may have from breast implants. We need to know all the side effects. We need to have an informed consent, like about what it can do to your body. And there's also two rare breast cancers, not breast cancers, rare cancers that come with implants, which is BIA-ALCL and BIA-SCC. And they're very rare and they're not that easy to treat to some people. And sometimes it leads to death and lots of autoimmune illness. People need to understand that all implants, not just saline, all implants are made with a silicone shell. Yeah. And that's really important. And that silicone shell is made out of 40 neurotoxins. So people need to consider the harm it will do internally, not just the way they look externally. I have had lost friends because of this, because I was bedridden for a long time and years of enjoyment. And I don't want anybody to go through the same experience. And if I can save one person from the hell that I went through, I would love to help them.
Thank you. You touched my heart. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I'm so happy you're recovering, girl. Thank you so much. Thank you. So next for Devorah. What gave you the motivation and drive to turn the struggle of being overwhelmed with information as an up-and-coming mother to actually tackle the problem yourself and solve it for others? Did you expect it to turn into a business?
So when I first became pregnant, I always knew that I wanted to take my parenting role seriously. So I sought out just different parenting books. And it was so overwhelming to see, first of all, so much out there, but also so much contradicting advice out there. And each kind of philosophy was a little bit extreme and nobody kind of saw the other perspective. I see Oksana nodding. I guess, she's a mom and I guess she's seen it too. I didn't actually start doing it right away. It was only once I had a baby and I decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And it was difficult for me to be at home as someone who was formerly in law school and had a corporate position. My husband recommended that my sister come watch my baby for 2 hours a day while I do this idea that I had, which was create a space where all different ideas and philosophies were just in one spot. So you don't need to go to a million different places, see so many different extreme things. There's just one spot you can go to learn all different advice and tips and then choose what works for you. And so that's what I started doing. I went to a cafe every day, had my coffee, had my little pastry, and read books and started summarizing them and started my Instagram account, Perfectionist Mommy. And it's actually not a business for right now, although I've been reached, many publishers and authors have reached out to me and just different, just baby companies. I don't get any sort of payment. For right now, it's just a way for me to spread the knowledge I have. And frankly, just it's a good outlet for me and it helps me be a better parent as well as the parents that I've reached out to.
I'm sure so many, because like we were saying before, there are so many information for new parents and it might be very, very confusing. So thank you for what you do. Thank you so much. And of course, chapeau to your husband, who was the one that said, pursue this. As we know, Victor, you've started your career in entertainment and production, working on numerous projects. At what point in your career did you realize you wanted to create your own platform for content creation rather than produce others' work?
I actually knew that right away. Like before I started producing projects, I created social media content, and that's when I knew that I wanted to create my own platform. Not a social media platform, but a platform for people to just learn and be able to go beyond it and create something for themselves as well. So I would say throughout my career, I've known I wanted to do it. I just felt like I needed to learn the ins and outs before stepping out and doing it on my own.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very important. Thank you so much. So now we go again back to Gabriela, my beautiful Gabriela. So you were the first Latin American designer to close a runway during London Fashion Week. What did this achievement mean for you personally, and how have you observed the industry continue to break multicultural boundaries? Do you feel fashion has always been a getaway into sharing and expressing culture?
Well, Simonetta, absolutely. This is a wonderful question. I'm really proud of being Mexican, as I said before. It was an amazing experience walking down the aisle of this majestic cathedral during the London Fashion Week. It was definitely a beautiful dream come true.
I've seen it. If you guys didn't see, you have to go and check her out. It was amazing. Amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really hope the next time you could be at the first row.
Yes.
And well, I do have to mention that this is not something that I did alone. I had the support, the trust, and the inspiration, the protection of my mentor and dearest friend, Julie McDonald, who has taken me by the hand through this whole process. He has the experience, the trajectory like no other, as he worked for Givenchy and Chanel, as you said, next to Karl Lagerfeld. Now, I do believe that fashion as an industry continues to break multicultural boundaries and barriers. I see fashion as a form of art and expression, and this is what allows people to identify, to relate, and to share who they are. Fashion, just like any form of art, is an expression. So yes, culture through fashion is definitely something that happens and will continue to happen.
Definitely, definitely. And then again, I'm proud of you as the first Latina. So, let's continue to break boundaries. So absolutely. So back to William. Before you began working with Bay Smokes, had you previously been interested in the healing effects of THC and hemp? Or is that something that you fell into after taking on your role with the brand?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I've been around cannabis almost my entire, I would say, adult life. But seeing from others' perspectives, looking at other people who abuse high potency THC cannabis and people who struggle with addiction from nicotine, and especially because the younger generation, really, so my generation, has been hit with like these new electronic vapes coming out where nicotine has been so much more accessible and easy for them to then get hooked on. I wanted to see an option in the market for a less addictive alternative, something that was going to be a more mild alternative to either nicotine or high potency THC cannabis. And not until recently, I was actually working on the wholesale side of things, helping some different farms and labs around the country sell their CBD products in bulk to each other. That I realized, wow, there's actually a potential, and this is a feasible product now, to offer a high quality product to both of these markets that they're actually going to be able to enjoy and will satisfy, both of their needs for each one of the respective use cases. So I'm really interested in its potential healing properties. Right now, there's a lot of regulation on saying anything is a healing property at all. So you can't really say that, but I do believe that it has a lot of potential to help a lot of people.
It does.
What we're doing.
And my father is a medical doctor, has been actually studying. There's a lot of doctors that have been studying actually the good properties of CBD and THC combined. So it's very good what you're doing. And also what you were saying to really, give high quality product, because of course the market, it's, I don't want to say it's getting saturated, but of course a lot of people are getting to this. So I think that, giving high quality products for the health of people, it's very, very important. So thank you so much for, putting the effort there.
Yes? One comment I would say on that is that with this very attractive new market, a lot of less than reputable people are kind of rushing into it, and they're pushing product that is less than quality. That's not properly taken care of and handled along the way. It's not properly tested at all possible places where contamination could come in. And that's one warning that I would put out to people, is just because it's now available doesn't mean you can necessarily trust every brand selling it. And I would make sure whoever you're dealing with is taking every extra necessary step to make sure they have a very high quality and as clean as possible product.
Absolutely. Thank you. So coming back to Katiana, apart from Bay Smokes, you said you always try to push body positivity and self-love. Was this something that you have struggled with personally as you grew up? And what made you want to share your message so publicly?
As I said before, I was in a car accident. I actually was in two. So in both of them, they were pretty bad. So they left scars all over my body. Wow. And it was really hard growing up just because a lot of kids pointed them out and made fun of me for it. And I remember when I went online, I like saw all these influencers and they all kind of like had like this perfect flawless skin. And it wasn't until later I was like, oh, they're airbrushing it, they're editing it. And I realized they just edit all their flaws or everything. And I feel like it just kind of, in a sense, like made me feel insecure. And I just realized that there was like, I didn't see any influencer being like authentic, like showing their flaws and stuff. So I felt like I wanted to be the influencer I needed growing up. Like I would have loved like growing up, seeing an influencer that just like promoted so much self-love and like embraced your scars. So for me, that's what inspired me. And I felt like that's what I wanted to be that.
It's a beautiful message, right? To embrace our scars is very, very important because those scars
are who we are.
Yes, the one that make us. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So again, for Oksana, you mentioned Never Be Basic is your dream project. Could you give us some more insights on the message and goals behind this project and how has your career led you to pursue it?
Never Be Basic is it's basically explaining that we are magical and we're not basic. That's what it stands for. Every individual, every person is magical. And this is an inspirational campaign to reach out, to support, and hopefully help with healing if needed to, and give something back in a gentle process, in a gentle way. So the clothing lines are, one of them is t-shirts, hoodies, and caps. So, but it has all the colors of the chakras, which is rainbow colors, and the symbols of all the 7 chakras. It's very soft material. And as I mentioned, the other line is dresses and bikinis. And I'm also doing a pregnancy line because I appreciate a female body when it's going through pregnancy. It's so important to be comfortable, but also beautiful, because it is beautiful. And again, my children, as I mentioned, my inspiration greatly. My son is 23 and my daughter is 11.
Wow.
So, and this news, I'm just so excited about this song. Yay. I'm a little tired from yesterday shooting the Lemonade video for the song Lemonade. But the podcast that I'm doing also under the same umbrella, Never Be Basic, it is actually I will be inviting wonderful people, inspirational people and ministers who taught me and who helped me to go through challenging times, as we all have them.
Yes.
And I think, and especially in pandemic, it's such an uncertain times. And in uncertain times, they are challenging times. Sometimes they could be devastating, but it is, in a way, it is a progress. It is evolution. And it really helps me to reach out and put together this campaign and the podcast putting together. And I think we all need a little bit of healing.
We do. We definitely do, especially after 2020. We all need healing.
And what I'm hearing here with everyone. I'm so pleased to be on the same panel with you.
Yes. I know. While we were talking, we're all in this, beautiful, trying to give back, trying to help, trying to, through nature, through fashion, through, body positivity, through information, medical information, through, social media. Very important.
And thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you. So back to Susanna. You are an influencer and brand ambassador with a growing platform. And as we have seen, so many others on social media have undergone medical operations after watching their idols do so. What would be most important advice you give to someone, especially a young person, considering surgery after being influenced by the media?
The most important advice I could give to somebody, especially a young person, is that you have no idea if your idol is suffering physically or mentally. For myself, I had thyroid cancer. I had swollen lymph nodes all the time, to endless biopsies. I'm still waiting for my biopsy report from the capsules. So you just don't know how they're suffering. I was in a deep depression for so long, feeling mentally and physically ill, but no one knew until the very end. It's not a sustainable way of life. Always cutting yourself, trying to be the perfect image of what society wants is something you will always have to maintain, and it's a growing concern. Your life goes past the photos that you see on Instagram or social media. I myself have been there where I edit my pictures, I filter my pictures, I do it, I'm guilty of it, but like it needs to stop. It's just not reality. And it puts so much pressure on younger women and everyone.
Like Tatiana was saying before, absolutely.
It needs to start with like society, like realizing that to love and accept people the way they are, yes, and just giving, like she said, body positivity, yes, and also not feeling pressure to look a certain way and giving self-love, and also knowing the informed risks that come with surgery mentally and physically, because you never know what the end result will be. Like myself, I did not know that I was going to be that sick afterwards.
Oh, I'm praying for you every single day.
Thank you. I know you have such a good heart.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. So coming back to Devora, I find it so inspiring, the philanthropic programs you are involved in. And as you clearly have a passion for helping others, are there certain charities or programs you've orchestrated or work with to help offset side effects of COVID-19 in your community, especially with young children being so divided and socially separating during this time?
So we definitely actually specifically sought out charities asking if they're helping families with children that are being negatively affected by the quarantine. But more importantly, the first thing that I thought of when we started with the quarantine and the social isolation was, what about the children? I mean, everyone's talking about Corona, but no one's talking about the side effects of this isolation. And Angelina Jolie actually wrote a great article right when I was kind of thinking of it. And I really recommend reading that article. And so the best thing that I was able to do was start posting about it, because the number one thing a child needs is a stable home and a family. Yes. So if the parents could do the best they can in a very difficult situation, I was there to try to help with that. And then separately, my husband actually represents 60,000 victims of the opioid crisis.
Wow.
And so, and addiction recovery has always been a very passionate charity of ours. Yes. And just with our exposure now with so many, with his just working in the field, we realized that the addiction recovery community was one of the most hardest hit communities because of COVID, and the overdose rate has skyrocketed. And again, we hear a lot about Corona. We don't hear about the side effects and all the cost of being in isolation. And what we learned, a really interesting fact, is that a lot of prisoners who have recently left prison, they often relapse because they don't have transportation to their recovery meetings, to their AA meetings, to their parole officers. And it's just a simple thing just to get to their recovery. And we all know addiction affects families and children to such a devastating degree. And so we just started Rides to Recovery, which basically provides transportation for recent parolees, recovering parolees, so that they can get to their therapist appointments, they can get, to their parole officers, their AA meetings. And it's something that we're really excited to see where it takes off, and we'd love to spread it across the entire country.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness, this panel is so inspiring. I'm like, yes, I like you guys so much. Thank you. So again, for Victor, you mentioned that you wanted Goldscope Feed to be a space for education and positivity. See, positivity again. What does this personally mean to you, especially when considering the direction of many other media platforms? How do you strive to be different?
Well, I'll start off by saying I definitely do want Goldscope to be a place of education. And I don't mean that just by the news we put out there. I don't want to be just another news channel. I want to give the opportunity to give that education again for someone to go and create their own platform. I welcome and I embrace competition. I think people should want to do more and get creative. Currently, like I'm self-funding everything, and it's exciting because I'm not accepting ads, I'm not accepting anything like that. And I just want to make sure that people take away, the same feeling that I have towards my passion. I want them to have that. And how are we going to be different? I don't know in the long run. I just know people will come back because they will feel that passion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now I have a final question for the entire group. So uncertainty is a given, right? Not just today. As people that did not necessarily find their career paths right away and maybe found them by chance, what motivates you to keep exploring your talents and passions and to continue building off your current skill sets despite uncertainty? So, Gabriela, what is your take on this?
Well, Simonetta, uncertainty is real. It's also real that how we feel about it depends on our perception. My motivation begins with just the fact of being a woman and the impact that we now have in the world and in society. I'm always focused on my goals. I try to have a plan and fight for the results with passion, dedication, and discipline. Things will always have ups and downs during the process. Sometimes it's not just that our dreams don't come true, it's that maybe we give up on them too easily. I believe we are capable of anything as long as we put all our power, mind, and dedication to it.
Absolutely. So definitely have a plan and continue and continue and continue.
Absolutely. Yes.
So next for William, what is your take on this?
For me, I just see uncertainty as a void where unlimited possibility of creation is. Uncertainty just means anything is possible. And for me, I mean, I feel like I see a vision of a future that I would like to bring into existence. And so everything that I do is working towards bringing this ideal future into existence, whether it be through a business or even through little things like conversations between individuals. Everything I'm doing is kind of working towards this thing. If, of course, there's a void of uncertainty. We don't really know anything necessarily besides what we're currently observing. But the uncertainty definitely excites me because it means, whatever you can imagine is what you can bring into existence.
Definitely. Interesting. So, Katiana, what is your take on this?
I feel like there's nothing that you really control in life, but I feel like something that you can control is yourself. And me personally, what motivates me is to help people. So no matter what happens, as long as I'm doing that, I will be happy, and I'll always do anything in my power to do that.
So help others. Thank you so much. That really motivates a lot of us, right? So now for Susanna.
Well, the only guarantees in life are taxes and death. We all know that.
True.
So like when I decided to first get surgery, I was already busty, and I was a young model and I felt pressured to look perfect. I wasn't expecting all the changes and harms that it would do to my body that occurred as I was bedridden for so long. My passion has always been beauty, external beauty. But my journey now is to focus on inner beauty. Beauty is what led me to get my breast implants, and that's what harmed me in the end. My passion today is spreading awareness and educating others about the harmful devices that are out there. And once you follow your passion and dreams, the motivation will naturally follow.
Absolutely. So let's keep on working our inner beauty, right? Thank you so much. And now, Devorah, what do you think about this?
I think I was definitely not on the path of doing, Perfectionist Mommy, which is my blog and my Instagram account. I was very much into academia. I was valedictorian of my college. I went to top 10 law school, and I kind of left all that when we struggled with infertility. And I do think that I'm a big believer in not overthinking things. And I think Nike gets it right. Just do it. You look for motivation. It's that simple, right? I mean, just do it and don't overthink it. If you're looking for motivation or just some external sign, and it's always there if you look for it. And don't wait for the perfect time. There's always something going to change, and just do it.
Absolutely. And now Oksana, my beautiful friend.
Thank you, Simonetta. I actually have to go get my daughter. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. We're almost
but
done.
I wanted to say that I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you, everyone. And I think we're all co-creators, right?
Yes,
so
we are.
Creating, yes, it is uncertain times, unsettling times, but as I mentioned earlier, it is also a time of progress. It's evolution, and through creation, through art, we can definitely, we may not see the same world after the pandemic is over, but it will be certainly a beautiful world and better in some ways, I believe so, through co-creation.
Absolutely. And now, Victor, what is your final take on this?
My take on uncertainty is that it's always going to be there. Whether you're just starting out or you're successful, you're always going to be uncertain about your next move. I would just use that to self-motivate. There's nothing more exciting than a challenge.
That's so true. And guys, this was amazing. It's a wrap. I love this. You guys did absolutely amazing. You inspire me so much. It was such a beautiful energy throughout all of us. So really, thank you with all my heart. And let's continue because this was absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're a rock star. Thank you so
for having
much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon.